AFCON semi-finals is here, boys and girls, after a crazy lineup in the quarterfinals. The most stacked I think I've ever seen in myself. We got to see 7 of the biggest 8 countries in AFCON. If Tunisia had beaten Mali, then we would have seen 8 from 8 massive nations. They're arguably the biggest 8, of course, if Ghana's not there. But still, that quarterfinal matchups was absolutely insane. And we got to see some crazy games. You had Senegal beating Mali. It deserved the win, even though it was only 1-0 against 10 men, even though Mali still had some chances and Senegal could barely get that second goal, but it was a deserved win. Then you had Nigeria beat Nigeria in a complete dominant fashion. It was men versus boys. Nigeria absolutely surprised the hell out of me, especially with the whole drama before the game started about Osimhen, whether he's staying, whether he's going, and indeed he's saying, I'm going to pay everyone's bonuses. It was so much drama, but they put that in the bag, and on the pitch, they absolutely produced an exceptional performance, beating Algeria, dominant fashion, absolute dominant fashion. Then you had Morocco beating Cameroon. Brahim Diaz, once again, another game, another goal. He's en route for that player of the tournament. The guy, before he left Madrid, fam, Chabalons was still in charge. Madrid was winning games. Well, before he left for AFCON. And then boom, when he's coming back, Madrid's lost against Barcelona. And Chabalons was there. He's not even there. And he's got a new manager in Arbeloa. So Brahim Diaz, my brother, if I was you, stay there for a little bit while. Because in Madrid, you've got a lot of drama. And then you had Egypt beating Ivory Coast. Again, this is not a rivalry, fam. This ain't a rivalry. AFCON, you know what time it is when Egypt faces Ivory Coast. Of course, Mohamed Salah with an exceptional performance, a goal and an assist. But here we have it, semi-final matchups between Senegal and Egypt. Another, of course, rematch of the last AFCON final. And you've got this incredible, crazy final between Nigeria and Morocco. Before I give you my predictions for every single one of those 2 games and my prediction for the winner, before we start, make sure you like the video right now, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and of course, comment your own thoughts. I want to know who you are predicting. I want to know who is winning the first matchup and who's winning the second matchup. But let's start with the first matchup. Senegal versus Egypt, of course. We all remember what happened in the last AFCON. To be fair, both. The last AFCON final, Senegal won, of course, in penalties. And, of course, Senegal beat Egypt to qualify for, was it the AFCON or the World Cup? I think the World Cup, wasn't it? The World Cup. So here we have it again. The thing is, if you ask me right now, who's been more convincing out of both teams? As crazy as it sounds, before you guys tell me what, I think it's been Egypt. I have not been convinced at all by Senegal. Despite the fact they've got the most stacked team in the tournament with so many firepower in the midfield going forward, they still haven't looked convincing. I still haven't looked at any sort of performance and said to myself, this is the Senegal that we know. This is the Senegal. This is why Senegal are the favorites. The comeback against Sudan, it was all right. The performance against Mali, it wasn't great. But one thing about Senegal, especially in previous tournaments and, of course, qualifications, they do well when it comes to crunch time. They do well when it comes to the most important games. This is, of course, another important game. But for some reason, I haven't been overly convinced by the Senegal team. With Egypt, it's been relying, as Mohamed Salah said, we've got the 3 or 4 players that can make a difference, and the rest of the players are all based in Egypt themselves. But the other players have actually done a good job. Mohamed, of course, have done his job. Marmoush with an important goal last game against Ivory Coast. And for some reason, I look at this Egypt team, before you call me crazy, I look at some bit of a Real Madrid similarity in the sense of the games which no one expected to win, they actually go on to win it. The game against Ivory Coast, before the game started, no one had Egypt winning that game. No one even predicted Egypt to win that game. But they still did. Why? The DNA. That's the reason why they have got the most trophies, the most medals in this AFCON. Yes, it's been a while since they won it, but for some reason, I look at this group, and Mo Salah said it perfectly in his press conference after the game against Ivory Coast. This is the best I felt with a dressing room with Egypt. And he can see some of the players who's getting a lot more confident with every game that goes by. They're getting better. They're getting stronger defensively. They're getting better. That last 50 minutes against Ivory Coast, resilience, absolute fight and they manage to stay compact and defensively great. Can they do the same against this Ivory Coast team who shares the same firepower? Let's not forget, yeah? What's it called? Ivory Coast, they had a lot of firepower. Diomande, Gusan, Ahmed Diallo, everyone thought, hey, Ivory Coast has been going great. Can they do it again? But I look at the Ivory Coast team. It's the same firepower. Ndiaye, Sadio Mane, Diallo, the midfield is the best midfield in the tournament. Let's be real. And they've got the players off the bench. And Mbaye, Ismail Sarr, Papa Sarr, bro, Dia. They've got a lot of crazy firepower. Nico Jackson, they've got a lot of firepower. Is it going to be too much for Egypt? The thing is, before the tournament started, I had Senegal and Morocco in the final. Go check my first AFCON predictions. I predicted the AFCON before the AFCON even started. And I had Morocco and Senegal in the final. I never had Nigeria in the semi-final. Neither did I have Egypt in the semi-final. But the way I look at this Egypt team, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's destined for them to win it. But at the same time, I think Senegal's firepower, yes, they haven't been convincing. The 1-0s, like conceding goals Sudan, it wasn't convincing. But I still feel the firepower of Senegal, I can't look past it. I just feel like there is too much firepower. There's too much X factors. Though I think Egypt can be resilient once again and get the 2 goals, get the 3 goals. Like Senegal hasn't been great defensively, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with my gut. My heart is telling me right now, yo, Egypt's gonna win. But my head is telling me Senegal's gonna win. And I've always been wrong with my heart with my predictions with Real Madrid, so I'm gonna stick with my head. I think Senegal, the firepower will be too much for Egypt, so I'm going to go with Senegal to win this game. They will be facing either Nigeria or Morocco. This game, wallah, I don't know. Wallah, I don't know. I'm going to be so real with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know, fam. Before the tournament started, I made it very clear with Nigeria. I had them finishing second in the group. I wasn't being disrespectful. Go check what I said about Nigeria. Nigeria, when they get it clicking, as Ronaldo said, I will marry Jorginho when I feel the click. With Nigeria, when it's clicking, they are the best team in the continent. One of the best teams. Okay, let's not disrespect the other team, Morocco. They are one of the best teams. They're the most strongest team when it comes to the attack, when it comes to the midfield, when it comes to everything. That's the biggest question, when it gets clicking. The thing with Nigeria, I couldn't trust them. Especially what I saw in the World Cup qualifications. I just can't trust them. One day they perform like they did against Algeria. Then another day, the performance against Congo in the last game of the World Cup qualification, it was so bad to watch. So this is why I say with Nigeria, they are hit and miss. When they are great, oh my goodness gracious, they are so great. But when they're bad, when they're not hitting form, when they're inconsistent, they are arguably the worst team in the tournament. And they've got so much drama around that team. With the manager, with the midfield, with the attack, with just the team, the personalities, the Lookmans, the Osimhens. If he doesn't pass to me, is he going to get annoyed? What am I going to expect from Osimhen before the game starts? Like, there's so much drama. Am I going to see a good performance from the goalkeeper for the first time? Like, the last game, okay. But this is the thing with Nigeria. It's all ifs. It's all if they could do that, if they can do that. With Morocco, we've seen this season. To be fair, with Morocco, if we're being real, it's been a similar story if Brahim Diaz scores. Because it's been I'll watch the Morocco games. And it's been sometimes I look at Morocco, even though they've got a lot of firepower, of course. El Kabi up front, Abde, El Nahi, so much firepower, yeah? For some reason, I look at this team and I say to myself, if Brahim doesn't play well, can you man still score? And apart in this tournament, not the last game is Cameroon, but the game before, I look at them and like, I don't see it. For me, it looks like a Brahim or bust in certain times. But the thing is, for them, it's the curse. They haven't won this tournament since, God knows, I think the 60s or 50s or whatever it is. Hakimi's back. That is massive. That is absolutely massive. The last game proved it. absolutely proved it. And he's of course, the best player. Having him there, the leadership in defense, they're going forward, providing that little spark with, of course, Brahim Diaz. El Canoes is finally in the starting 11. I don't know why he didn't start the couple games in the group stages, but I do feel like the lineup which they put forward last game against Cameroon, I genuinely think this is the best lineup. I think when it comes to the creativity standpoint, when it comes to not relying on Brahim Diaz, this is the best lineup. They've got, of course, the 1v1 threat in Azuli and Abde, and they've got, of course, the creativity and the ball striking and the ball progression and the Canoes and Saibari. Hakim is there. Mazraoui, I think this is the best lineup which they can put forward. I look at, of course, this lineup. They've been great. The Özlemans, the Adams, the Lookman, even though Adams missed a couple of chances against Algeria. This is a difficult game to predict. The only reason why I'm going to predict Morocco is I don't know what I'm going to get from Nigeria. I don't know if I'm going to get good performance or a bad performance. I don't know if they're going to be hitting or not hitting. This is why I have more faith in Morocco performing well and stepping up and locking in than I have faith in this Nigeria team. Hence the reason why I'm going to go with Morocco to win this game. And then we, of course, have the final between Senegal and Morocco, the same final which I predicted before the tournament started, the final which I feel like I'm not going to act like I predicted the best and I find something which no one else predicted. I think most people would have predicted the best two teams in the tournament to face each other in the final. And I think heading into this tournament, they were the two best teams in terms of form, in terms of the teams, in terms of the squad, in terms of the ability and talent of the whole place which they have. The Hakimi injury before the tournament started put a little bit of question marks about Morocco, even though I still felt like they had the firepower to go forward because I knew, I saw the reports that Hakim would be back at the end of the tournament. Now he's, of course, back. Morocco playing at home, I think the home advantage will help massively, and I think it's helped the last two games. After the Cameroon, the atmosphere was absolute sensational, like absolute insane. That Morocco game, and even the Tanzania game, like they weren't that convincing, but they got that little pushing from the fans. Of course, they haven't won since, as we all know, they've been close so many times. Like, when's the last time they won it actually? The last time they won it was when? AFCON, the last time they won it was 1976. 1970. The last time they were even close was, of course, 2004. I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go with the same prediction I predicted early on. Before the tournament started, I always felt that this Morocco team has what it takes to win it. And I think the storyline of playing at home, everything that comes with it, and Morocco at the moment, but if you look at all the different age groups, the different tournaments and everything, and if they face a Senegal team who I don't think has been convincing, again, we're waiting that performance against Egypt, I do think Morocco will hurt Senegal, and I do think they've got enough what it takes to defensively to handle that firepower up front. I think Egypt... Do I trust Egypt to be resilient for 90 minutes? I don't. Do I trust Morocco to be resilient and strong for 90 minutes defensively against Senegal? I think I do. So that's the reason why I think the winner, if, of course, Senegal and Morocco goes through to the final, I am predicting my winner to be Morocco. That's my prediction. But listen, I've given my predictions for both games. Put down in the comment section what you guys think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon with another video. Peace.